All right, welcome back to another segment of I just got done doing something, so I'm out of breath and can't talk very well. But anyway, I'm doing pull-ups. And understandably, this gets me to thinking about the squat.
That doesn't make sense.
And thinking about the squat gets me thinking about a conversation that we had recently with one of our members. We'll call him Lou. And Lou was having a heck of a time on the squat one day. And the problem that he was having was with the bounce, the stretch reflex that we try to get, that we want to get out of the bottom of the movement. So we're going to talk today about how to effectively get a bounce out of the bottom of your squat. So when we go down there, we want to go down to the bottom of the squat under control, and we want to get a nice tight bounce. It almost looks like we're bouncing off of something like a ball bouncing off of the floor. Don't worry, you're not actually bouncing off of your calves or off of your knees or something like that, but the bounce refers to the visual phenomenon that we're seeing here, right? So there's kind of two ways to mess this up. Number one, you don't want to go down too slow, and you certainly don't want to pause at the bottom. That will ruin your squat. So one way to handle that is to cue yourself, think up on the way down. So all the way down in your squat, be thinking up the whole way down. That'll help make sure that when you get to the bottom of the squat, you get a nice sharp turnaround at the bottom of the movement. Now, another way that you can mess up the bounce on your squat, besides going down too slowly or even pausing at the bottom of the movement, is going down too quickly. Either the whole way down, kind of dive bombing your squat, or simply getting loose at the very end of that descent. And this was actually Lou's problem. He was getting a little bit loose. The last 3 inches of the descent, he would simply decide in his head, kind of subconsciously, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get that bounce. And as a result, he would kind of collapse into the bottom. So we don't want to go down too fast either, and we don't want to just collapse or relax everything at the bottom of the squat. So there's 2 ways that you can handle this problem. And I should probably say there's 3 ways, because the cue think up all the way down still works here as well. But here's another way to approach it. Tell yourself tight bounce. In other words, all the way down, tell yourself get tighter and tighter and tighter. Tight bounce at the bottom so that everything is still contracted. Everything is as tight as you can possibly be at the bottom of the movement. The last way, and this is the way that helped Lou, is we simply told him smooth down, smooth up. He had this idea in his head that he was going to go down at a certain pace, and then the last 3 inches or so he was just going to speed up in an effort to hit that bounce. Now, he wasn't really consciously thinking this, but this was the net result of what he was doing. Once we told him to simply go smooth down, smooth on the way up, in other words, for him, it was not even thinking about the bounce. It was just making a nice smooth transition. That actually solved his problem very well. So if you tend to go down and then kind of collapse in an effort to really attack that bounce at the bottom, you might just need to tell yourself smooth down, smooth up. In other words, just a smooth transition. We hope these cues help you get stronger and live better.